Hey guys, it's me, Darth Something, and today I'm doing a different kind of video. I'm doing a collaboration with two of my friends, well, internet friends, but whatever. They're called The Force Wave and Everything Star Wars. I will leave links to their channels in the description. Now, you might see more of this in the future, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. Now, what we're doing today is we're taking the lightsaber duels from the Star Wars movies and pit it again in a match against each other. See which lightsaber fight is truly the best. So how this works is we have two lightsaber fights, and the one that the majority of us likes the most wins, and then it moves on to the next round, and then it continues like that until there are only two left. Now, once again, I hope you enjoy, and now let's get started. Okay, starting off, we have Obi-Wan versus Vader from A New Hope versus Qui-Gon and Maul's fight on Tatooine in The Phantom Menace. Everything Star Wars. What do you think?
I believe that there's a clear winner here. Obviously, Tatooine not Tatooine. Tatooine loses because for me it wasn't even that long of a fight. It was like 30 seconds, and then it just popped out, and then he just won the ship. It's not that long of a fight. It doesn't have any true meaning to it. It just was them fighting pretty much. It doesn't have any epic moments. They just pretty much have a normal lightsaber duel, and then he goes on the ship. Like it's not really the best lightsaber duel. It's not a bad lightsaber duel, but I wouldn't say it's like better than Episode 4. For me, I don't really like Episode 4, but the duel. But for me, it has more meaning and power than more than Episode 1, Tatooine 1. So that is why it is winning.
Okay, Force Wave.
Yep. For me, I'm gonna have to go with the New Hope battle between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, because their battle, it builds up from all the other movies, like Revenge of the Sith. They fought, they were brothers, everything like that, so there's a lot of emotion involved in the fight. And when we first got A New Hope, when it first came out, it didn't have much meaning to it, other than, we saw old dude and a bad guy fighting each other. But once the prequels came out, it became truly a masterpiece. Now, the battle itself was kind of slow, but it's not the battle itself. It's more so the meaning and the emotion behind it. Whereas Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul, they're just two random dudes clashing swords for like a couple seconds, and then it ends. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay, I also gotta go with Obi-Wan and Vader's fight from New Hope because, well, I mean, it's not very well choreographed, I guess, and it's kind of boring, but the one from Phantom Menace with Qui-Gon and Maul and Tatooine is just so short, and yeah, like you said, there is some emotion behind the one in New Hope, and yeah, honestly, that's basically it. Okay, next round. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda versus Dooku from Attack of the Clones, and Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku in Revenge of the Sith. Force Wave?
For me, this one is kind of tough between those two, but I'm gonna have to go with Dooku and Anakin along with Obi-Wan and Revenge of the Sith. Now, for me, why I picked this is, first off, this for me is Anakin's true, like one of the first moments of him becoming a dark, like Sith, because he cuts off Dooku's head. And I know that Dooku was a wasted character and all that other stuff, but if there was meaning to it, it helped Anakin further along the dark side, the dark road, as where we saw Dooku and Anakin and Obi-Wan and Yoda fight just for a lightsaber fight to be in Attack of the Clones. And just for money, you know, Yoda like jumping around. It was cool, yeah, but I mean, what was it about? It was not. It didn't really have anything to it, and it was kind of. It was. It was just. Whenever I watch it, I nod my head, as where in Revenge of the Sith, the duel had some kind of meaning to it. Sure, it wasn't the best, but still, it was. It had meaning. So that's my take on it.
Okay, everything you wanna go now? You wanna go?
For me, I believe that it's a hard one. It's a very hard one. They're both pretty equal, but I'm gonna have to go with the one from Revenge of the Sith because for me, the one from Attack of the Clones doesn't have like he said previously. It doesn't have any meaning to it. It's more so just put in there for the sake of just having a lightsaber duel in the movie. That's the only reason it was put in it. No actual meaning. It just to show off that Yoda can do all this stuff. But really, I mean, yeah, like you said earlier, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool to see Yoda do all this stuff, jumping around, swinging lightsaber, besting Dooku, and stuff. But for me, Episode 3 showed how Anakin has grew from this young boy to Anakin. So that's why I believe that Episode 3, Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku, that's the one from Attack of the Clones.
Okay, and I also gotta go with the one from Revenge of the Sith because, like you said, well, it was cool to see Yoda do all that kind of stuff. Like, it wasn't really any meaning to that fight, and like it was just there to, you know, have a lightsaber duel. And I don't really think the CGI on Yoda in Attack of the Clones was the greatest. And the one, yeah, like Force Wave said, we saw Anakin like sort of getting closer to turning to the dark side, and yeah, that's basically all. So I guess the one from Revenge of the Sith wins. And now, in the next round we have Luke versus Kylo from The Last Jedi versus Luke versus Vader from The Empire Strikes Back. I know the one from The Last Jedi isn't really a lightsaber duel because the lightsabers don't really clash, but well, for me it counts because all the episodes have that one. But now, I'll start, and I'm gonna have to go with the Luke versus Vader from The Empire Strikes Back because, well, I mean, I am your father, and it had some more. It was, well, their lightsabers actually clashed. That's basically it. And I mean, Vader was basically just toying with Luke, so that was kind of cool, I guess. Okay, I'm not really good at this. Force Wave everything. Who wants to go now?
For me, I would have to go with The Empire Strikes Back. Now, why I would pick this is pretty obvious reasons. It just seeing that Luke and Vader went up against each other and finding out the big reveal was great. Also, the tone was scary. This is the first time we get to see Luke take on a big challenge, and this is what the movie was building up to. And whereas The Last Jedi, we did get to see Luke against Kylo Ren, but did we care that, we didn't get to see them in the past, like, communicate, talk, anything like that. We didn't get any real, like, caring for them, for both of those characters.
Excuse me, are we talking about the one on, like,
Crate.
for example, the one on...
Great, yeah.
Oh, I started talking about the one on the guards, but continue on.
But yeah, for me, I would have to go The Empire Strikes Back because, yeah, there was more leading up to it, and it just had more meaning to it. One of the greatest scenes ever in cinema history happened in that fight. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Everything?
For me, I'm gonna have to go with the one on the crate because no, not the one on crate, the one on Empire Strikes Back. Because for me, also I really didn't like Empire Strikes Back. For me, the lightsaber duel was mediocre, and the reveal for me wasn't too important. I wasn't like that surprised, but
Okay, so Empire Strikes Back wins then, and now next round we have Luke versus Vader from Return of the Jedi versus Obi-Wan versus Grievous from Revenge of the Sith. Everything?
can you repeat the choices?
General Grievous versus Obi-Wan Kenobi from Revenge of the Sith, and Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi.
This one is quite easy. For me, Luke versus Darth Vader from the Jedi because it showed this is what the whole trilogy was building up to when they fought, and you felt the emotion there that he really didn't want to fight Vader, but he had to, and it was really emotional. And when you actually saw his full potential, Luke's full potential, because at that point he was already quite powerful, and you saw how he grew as a person, pretty much, from a farm boy to this Jedi master, the only Jedi, in fact. So that's why I think Return of the Jedi, duel from Return of the Jedi. So yeah.
Force Wave?
For me, I would have to go with the fight in Return of the Jedi because Obi-Wan versus Grievous, like I previously said with other lightsaber duels, there wasn't much to it. We didn't really care about Grievous much as a character, and it did change after the Clone Wars. But again, it's not that big of a battle, and I think that battle was sort of meh. It was entertaining, yes, but I think it was there for merch, basically, and to show off Grievous as a character. And I think that's the main thing that they were doing with Grievous, just making him a big bad dude that gets destroyed. As where in Return of the Jedi, everything was leading up, as everything Star Wars said, from A New Hope to Empire Strikes Back, and there was a lot of turmoil, a lot of motion. Things were brought in, like Vader, taunting Luke about Leia, and it was just very emotional. And might I add, this is the fight that brought Vader back to the light, and it was a great ending. One of the best lightsaber duels.
I go with the fight in Return of the Jedi between Luke and Vader because I feel like Grievous wasn't even really necessary as a character. Like, he didn't even have to be in the movie because really, like, sure, Obi-Wan had to be somewhere else when Anakin turned to the dark side, I guess, but Grievous wasn't really needed. He could have just went to like another planet to fight some battle droids or something. I don't know, but they didn't really have to include Grievous. Plus, I mean, the fight wasn't really that good. I mean, they didn't even use lightsabers for that long. And in the Return of the Jedi, it's more emotional, like, and the music there, where the part where he says that maybe Leia will turn dark side, like the music right there was really good, and it was more emotional. It was the part where Vader, turned good, and the part where Luke gets, mad, I guess. I mean, that's not really the best word, but yeah, that was great, and yeah, that's basically it. So far, we all agreed on everything. Now, next round is the Praetorian Guards from The Last Jedi versus Rey and Kylo against Anakin versus Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith. Force Wave.
Can you please repeat those?
Okay, sorry. The Praetorian Guards versus Kylo Ren and Rey in Last Jedi against Anakin versus Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith. The one with the Praetorian Guards isn't really a lightsaber duel because, I mean, lightsabers don't clash, but whatever. It's still cool.
Anyway, I would definitely have to go with the Revenge of the Sith battle. Rey and Ren going against the guards. What's cool to see, like I said with the General Grievous and Obi-Wan duel, but why was it there? Why? I mean, you can't really name off a reason other than we get to see two Jedi and Dark, whatever the heck Kylo Ren is, going off against other users and seeing how powerful they are. It doesn't have anything behind it. Patron guards are just patron guards. There's nothing much to it. Whereas in Revenge of the Sith, the prequels, we get to see Obi-Wan and Anakin in The Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones. Their relationship is building up, and we knew Anakin would turn. But I didn't really expect it to be in the way that it was, like them facing off against each other. So when it did happen, there's so much momentum building up, like Yoda saying that Obi-Wan had to fight him. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And it basically is brother versus brother, family facing off. It was probably the most emotional fight that I have ever seen in Star Wars, period. That's my take on it.
Everything?
For me, it's a very close one. For me, Revenge of the Sith is... The duel from there was very much overdone. They very... I mean, at first I thought it was the best. Like, I was like, this is amazing. But then as I looked at it more, they actually messed up in a lot of ways. First of all, by making, the Tarzan swing? They did. Oh, that was one of the most terrible things I've ever seen in a movie made by a famous company. Because they made it way too long. It's like they wanted to stretch out the movie so it wouldn't be so short. Even though it wasn't that short, I'm just saying that it felt like that they wanted to make it so clandestine that they made it a little tad bit too shiny in a way. But it does have some good things. Like in the last part, it was very emotional. He had to kill Anakin, and this is a very hard one, like I said before. But I'm gonna have to go with Revenge of the Sith because the one on Last Jedi it did have some meaning, but the meaning wasn't that big. The meaning was that both of them didn't know what was going to happen next, and there was this kind of tension in between them, and that's why it felt like it had meaning as well. But for me, the meaning for the one on Revenge of the Sith had bigger weights than the one on Last Jedi. So I'm gonna have to go with the Last Jedi.
Okay, and I'm gonna have to go with the one in Revenge of the Sith because it's probably the most emotional for me, the most emotional lightsaber fight for me, and it's really long, I guess. Well, some people think it's too long, but I don't really think it's too long, honestly. The Praetorian Guards fight was amazing as well, but the one from Revenge of the Sith is just so great. It's well choreographed, it's emotional, the ending... like Fortune said, it's like it is brother versus brother, and where Obi-Wan just leaves Anakin to burn was, well, great. Yeah, that's basically it. And one from Revenge of the Sith wins. Now, next round. Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Maul against Kylo Ren and Rey from The Force Awakens. Yeah, this is pretty obvious.
I go first? Oh.
Okay, yeah, you can go first.
Alright. I'm gonna have to go with the one from... It's a very hard one, of course. Like, this is like the hardest one so far, but I'm gonna have to go with Phantom Menace because it's hard to explain this. Very hard because it's so obvious that it's not. I pretty much don't have to explain this, but I will. It was our first like good lightsaber duel. That's in quotes, but like it was for me, it's the best choreographed lightsaber duel. It's not pushed too far, but it's not too slow. So it's like the best. For me, it is the best. It's in the middle of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. It's like right in the perfect spot. It's not too slow. It's not too fast. It didn't have much meaning to it, except for when Qui-Gon died. But still, the one on Force Awakens didn't have meaning either. So they're pretty much on equal ground on meaning. But I'd say the one that looks cooler wins pretty much in this round. So I'm gonna go with Phantom Menace.
Okay, Force Wave?
For me, I would have to go with the one from The Force Awakens. Nah, I'm just joking with you guys. I'm going to have to go with the Phantom Menace duel because for me, in The Force Awakens, we just basically have a bunch of random 3 characters fighting each other. It's basically the same in The Phantom Menace as, everything Star Wars said, but Phantom Menace does it way better, where just the location in itself on Naboo, everything that happens, and Qui-Gon dies, that's emotional. There was meaning, slight meaning, to the Phantom Menace duel, and it was a great lightsaber battle as well. Whereas The Force Awakens, again, I feel like it was just put in there because they needed a lightsaber duel. And it wasn't even that great. Also, there's some, errors, how was Rey able to be covering. But that's for a totally different video. So, yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay, I also gotta go with the one in the Phantom Menace. I think it's very well choreographed. I mean, Force Awakens is more realistically choreographed. Like, it's not like they're dancing, but I mean, it's Jedi and Sith in their prime, so it's basically like dancing to them, I guess. And I mean, Qui-Gon's death gave it slight meaning, I guess, like Force We've said, and yeah, it was just really fun. It was well choreographed, and yeah, that's. What more can I say? Oh, and Darth Maul had a double-bladed lightsaber, so that's pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, Phantom Menace wins this one. Now, last round, Mace versus Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith versus Yoda and Palpatine's fight in Revenge of the Sith. Who wants to start?
Everything Star Wars?
Oh man, I mean this is a very easy one indeed. Can you repeat the ones again?
Mace Windu versus Darth Sidious or Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith versus Yoda and Palpatine's fight.
Oh, as I said, it was very easy. I heard Mace Windu and all the duels he's been are for me terrible. So I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go with the one on Revenge of the Sith, the one with Yoda. Because for me, it was the battle between the two most powerful beings in the galaxy, Yoda and Palpatine. And also it showed how all Yoda can do, his like full potential. But but the one with Mace Windu, it was pretty much impractical the whole fight because he brought 4 Jedi Masters in or whatever number. But whenever I saw it, it was they just got murdered right there. Like in 2 seconds, they're all murdered. And for me, it's not very practical to have. They train for their whole life and they just die in 2 seconds by a dude stabbing them. I don't feel like it's that. It doesn't make sense sometimes when I watch it. So, but Yoda versus Palpatine does make sense. It's very close battles, and for me, it's a pretty cool thing to see two powerful people in the galaxy fight and seeing who wins. So that's why I'm gonna have to go with them. Yoda.
Force Wave?
For me, I would have to go with Yoda and Palpatine against each other. Now, the problem I have with the Mace Windu and Palpatine fight would have to be the fact that the Jedi felt wasted. Like Kit Fisto, Plo Koon, and all those other guys. They were like meaninglessly thrown in there just to die. And I think Mace Windu again was in there, just wasted potential, just for Anakin to kill him, just like kind of like Dooku beforehand. The fight was decent, but it was basically just to get Anakin complete with his dark side complete to go on to the dark side. Whereas Yoda and Palpatine's fight was great. It was the goodest of good versus the evilest of evil facing off against each other. And we got to see we didn't see Yoda at his full height and attack the clones. We got to see him at his true height, like everything Star said. And Yoda was actually giving it his all. We could see that. And what I love about it is we got to see Palpatine at his all too. And even though he was about to lose, he was basically laughing almost the whole time. And it shows how crazy and nuts he can be. And he was having fun with it, even though he was at some points losing. So for me, I'm going to have to go Yoda and Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, I'm actually gonna have to go with Mace versus Palpatine. I don't know what it is. It just I mean, it's the part where Anakin really like turns to the dark side, I guess, and I mean, it feels more. I don't know. I mean, the fact that the other 3 Jedi did die so quickly. Yeah, that I don't. That doesn't feel right. But I don't know. It's just what it is about it, honestly. I don't know. I just like it, but Yoda versus Palpatine actually wins this. Now we're gonna move on to the next round, where it's basically now this is round 2, I guess, and first there's gonna be 3 fights against each other, and basically we're gonna have to start off by saying which one we like the least, and then when one of them gets eliminated, and then there's only 2 left, and then we'll have to say which one we like the most, but only in the first one. So now we have Obi-Wan and Vader's fight in A New Hope versus Obi-Wan and Anakin's fight against Dooku in Revenge of the Sith, and versus the duel in the Phantom Menace between Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Maul.
Okay, can I start off?
Okay, the worst one. Which one you like the least now?
Okay. For me, which one I like least, and this is very hard, would have to be the Revenge of the Sith fight between Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan. Why this is my least favorite is where the Phantom Menace is probably my favorite, and A New Hope battle between Obi-Wan and Vader is the middle, just because that had great meaning to it, even though the fight itself wasn't that good. And this one, it had meaning to it, where, you know, Anakin's on the darker road to the dark side, but it just didn't hold out that well for me. And there were some scenes that were just made into memes. That's how ridiculous the battle was, like when Palpatine was saying "do it" and stuff like that. And I mean, it just wasn't that meaningful to me. So yeah, that's my least favorite.
Everything? Which one is your least favorite
for me,
of those?
The least favorite for me is. I feel like I'm gonna have to go with the one from, like you said earlier, the Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Anakin and Obi-Wan versus Dooku. Because it doesn't really have a meaning to it. It does meaning to it, but like comparing to the others, it doesn't really compare to the meaning. So that's why I also it was a great duel, but showed his true capabilities, Anakin's true capabilities, but it was, there are some stupid things in the battle that happened, like he said, that became memes, and when something becomes a meme, you know it's bad. Compared to the others, it doesn't really stand up very well, so that's pretty much why it's that place.
Okay, for me it's actually the one from A New Hope between Vader and Obi-Wan. It's just kind of boring to me. I mean, because it's the first lightsaber duel. I'm keeping this in the video, by the way. Yeah, it's just kind of boring to me. So that means that that means that the one from Revenge of the Sith between Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan gets eliminated. Now, which one do you like the most out of Obi-Wan versus Vader from A New Hope and Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Maul's fighting the Phantom Menace?
Got a technical issue here.
Yeah. So which one do you like the most of those two? Who's gonna start?
Everything.
Oh crap! What are the choices again?
Your favorite between New Hope, between Vader and Obi-Wan, or Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Maul's
For me,
fight?
Phantom Menace because it looks cool. It has Darth Maul's very
Oh my gosh, Force Wave!
very good lightsaber and
Force Wave!
the first lightsaber that we've seen that actually was lightsaber duel that actually was good. I mean, I'm not saying the other ones are bad. I'm just saying the other ones were quite undeveloped as lightsaber duels are. That's where Phantom Menace wins. And yeah, that's why they win. Because it's the first lightsaber duel that actually that introduced us to actual good lightsaber duels, like good physics, good everything. And that's why it's number one. Go ahead.
Force Wave?
I'm gonna have to go with the Phantom Menace because it looks cool and it's a great battle. And A New Hope's battle, it has meaning and stuff to it. But the meaning, it's either meaning with a not so good fight or barely any meaning with a great fight. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the New Hope. No, just kidding. Of course I'm gonna have to go with the Phantom Menace. It looks cool. Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber is awesome. And yeah, that's it. So that means Phantom Menace lightsaber duel moves on. Now we have Luke and Vader's duel from Empire Strikes Back versus Luke and Vader's duel from Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
Who's gonna start?
For me, I like going on Return of the Jedi better because for me, yeah, it had better mechanics than like lightsaber duel. Like it had better choreography, and for me, it had more meaning as well because he doesn't want to fight Vader, but he has to. But the episode 5 has some meaning to it, but for me, episode 6 it's just some summary of everything. Not summary, but everything leads up to episode 6's duel. Episode 5 is an introduction to what the truth is. Episode 6 is when it all wraps up. And that's why it wins this round.
Force Wave?
This one is actually pretty difficult for me, but I'm gonna have to go with the Return of the Jedi one because, if you catch me on a different day, it may say Empire Strikes Back duel, but the real thing that makes the Return of the Jedi duel better is the fact that, we see Vader at his all against Luke at his all. The fate lays in Luke's hands on whether, he'll save the galaxy or will end in turmoil. And there's just more tension. There's more risk. There's more on the line. Because if Luke loses this, well, he dies. And we actually almost saw that until Vader got a redemption. And Empire Strikes Back, it was like that. It was kind of like that. But we were more scared for Luke's life than anything. But if Luke died, it didn't show it didn't show that, it rested in Luke's hand or anything like that. Where it did return the Jedi, but in Empire Strikes Back it didn't. And Vader was just kind of toying with him and playing around with him. And Luke was trying to prove himself, even though it had one of the best moments in Star Wars. The fight wasn't as good as Return of the Jedi, so that's my choice. Garth?
I'm also gonna have to go with the one in Return of the Jedi. Think just like you. Well, I'm gonna have to think of something that you haven't already said, or maybe not. I don't know. I mean, as you said, in Empire Strikes Back, Vader was just toying with him. I mean, I like that, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like one in Return of the Jedi is better choreographed, a bit more emotional, maybe, and yeah, that's basic. And of course, that's I guess when Vader turns back, even though I don't know if that counts as part of the duel or not, but still. And then of course Luke chooses, when he's when the Emperor comes and it's like good and kill your father and. Well, he didn't say that exactly, but you know what I mean. And then Luke does... What am I doing? Yeah. Return of the Jedi wins that one.
I got it.
Now, we have the Anakin versus Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith versus Yoda versus Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith.
I'm gonna have to go with Yoda versus Palpatine. Who's it going against again?
Anakin versus Obi-Wan from Revenge of the Sith.
Yes, I'm gonna have to go with Yoda versus Palpatine because for me, it wasn't as like overreacting as the one on Anakin versus Obi-Wan. It does have like not much emotion to it, but it showed the two most powerful beings in the galaxy at the moment. And what they could do. Unlike episode 3, it didn't like make everything so shiny and like that. It's just a normal thing. It's not like so it's not so like it's not so like it's not like super.
Anyway, he left in a galaxy far, far away, so I'm gonna have to go and take his spot because he got lost. He was traveling in a ship and he crashed into Mustafar. So, anyways,
He
I'm
might be
gonna
back
have to
though.
go with
Probably.
Anakin versus Obi-Wan because. I mean, yes, Yoda and Palpatine was cool, and yeah, maybe Everything Stars did have a good point on it was over the top, but why don't you just look over those small Tarzan moments and really look in depth into the fight of Anakin versus Obi-Wan? Because the emotion just got to you. It was really good, and especially when Obi-Wan was like, "You are the chosen one. You are my brother," and stuff like that. That you didn't see that versus Yoda and Palpatine. Yeah, you did see one baddie, one goodie going against each other, and it was a great fight. But it wasn't as good. I mean, Yoda and Palpatine never even knew each other. Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But by the way, we did get Everything Stars. We retrieved them from Mustafar. This ship was crashed. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah. Now. Okay. I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna have to go.
The duel was
His
very.
legs burned.
Yeah, a little bit. The duel was it was very. I said it was clandestine earlier, but it actually is quite opposite of that. It's very blatant. It just shows so. It's pretty much just two guys fighting each other in the middle of a battle. That's what it looked like, and it didn't have any meaning to it, like hidden meaning or anything. Like for example, the one on episode 6, that was actually quite good. It didn't. It had meaning to it, unlike the other ones. But episode 3 it's so blatant and like it doesn't. The duel itself didn't have any meaning, but after the duel, it did have meaning. But beforehand, it's just so. It's just them fighting. It's so overextended that they literally tried to make everything. They tried so hard that it doesn't even look good anymore. It's so blatantly made that like it's like having a box of chocolates and eating them all. After that, you won't like chocolates anymore. But having like one little treat of chocolate every single like month, that's much better than having a box of chocolate every single month. Because a box of chocolates will eventually get tired of chocolate. But one chocolate bar per month, you won't get tired at all. Just eat the whole thing, savor it, not like throw up because of the chocolate. You'll savor the chocolate because how good it is. But for me, it's kind of like the same thing. Chocolate was too much chocolate butter. No, we don't need too much chocolate, especially blatantly like that. But the one on the other one was it's a little chocolate, giving you a little chocolate, and then you just eat it. It's far more. It gives you more. You're more prizes by that one bit of chocolate. And it also showed us how powerful Yoda can be. It's like his full potential. And it showed all the most powerful people in the galaxy. But that's why it's at number. Yeah, if they won, they win. Sorry for when I left early. I was just lost.
I'm gonna have to go with Anakin versus Obi-Wan. I think it's more emotional. It's better choreographed. I think. I've already talked about it really, so yeah. I think that's it. Yeah. Now it's time for the next round. Now, there are 3 ones left. And that is the one from Phantom Menace with Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Maul. The one from Return of the Jedi with Vader and Luke, and the one from Revenge of the Sith with Obi-Wan and Anakin. So, which one is your least favorite now?
Oh wow.
of those?
Alright, for me, can you repeat the choices again?
Least favorite between Luke and Vader, Return of the Jedi, Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan and Maul, and Anakin versus Obi-Wan, Revenge of the Sith.
Alright, for me, Anakin versus Obi-Wan is
The least favorite.
Yes, because as I said a lot earlier, when I say something like it's blatant, it means it just has no meaning. It's so dull. It doesn't like give you any emotion. It does give you emotion, but not that much that it can save it from being so overextended. It's like so much going on that like you kind of lost the meaning of it. They tried so hard that it lost the meaning of the whole fight, and sometimes that ruins the thing for me. It doesn't. It's not a bad duel. It's a pretty great duel. I love it, but it doesn't have the full capabilities that it can go to. They should have just cut it short instead of making it so overextended, and that's why it is at my least favorite.
Okay, Force Wave.
For me, this is pretty tough. But when it comes down to it, it is emotion, no emotion. Now, what I mean by this is Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan versus Luke. I mean, Obi-Wan versus Anakin in Revenge of the Sith has emotion. Great. It's great. There were one in Return of the Jedi with Luke and Vader. Great. Has emotion, has meaning. The one in Phantom Menace, it's great, but doesn't have emotion or anything like that. I would prefer Phantom Menace over Return of the Jedi, but just because Phantom Menace has no meaning to it, I'm going to have to say that's my least favorite, because yes, you have the acrobatics, you have the good material, but there's nothing behind it. It's like eating a cupcake with no frosting on it. You have the cupcake and this good thing in itself, it tastes good, but there's no like frosting on top. It just makes the flavor better. It's bland in itself. It's good, but it's bland. You need to be having that emotion, that, sprinkles on top and stuff like that. And the Phantom Menace just doesn't do that. So, that's my least favorite.
Wow, I'm actually gonna have to go with the Return of the Jedi because. So what? So what are we gonna do now? Are we just gonna? Okay, I'll.
Let's get rid of.
Let's.
I don't know, man.
Okay, guys, it's a 3-way tie. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please.
Seriously, maybe.
Explain his reasoning and then we can end it.
Wait. Let's all vote. Okay, let's all say our second.
Wait.
Let's all say the one we like second.
There's something. We'll possibly leave a poll and a video in the description above. You guys can decide which 3.
No.
Between those 3.
And then
No. I have an idea. Let's all just say which one is our second favorite or second least favorite.
Second favorite. My second favorite is Return of the Jedi.
My second favorite.
Wait, I'm gonna have to. Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
For me, Phantom Menace. So,
So
I
you get
think
rid
that
of
means that Return of the Jedi loses this. I think. Wait, no, wait. It's this is hard. So, I guess Return of the Jedi loses, maybe. Okay, Return of the Jedi is eliminated, I guess. What do you think should? I guess Return of the Jedi is eliminated.
I'm gonna go with Return of the Jedi for my least favorite now, I guess.
Wait. Okay, Force Wave, what's your favorite?
Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, okay, for me it's also Revenge of the Sith. I guess that means Revenge of the Sith wins either way.
Alright.
No matter what.
For my favorite, can I explain what my favorite is?
Yeah.
My favorite is Return.
Phantom Menace.
My favorite is
Return of the Jedi because
Wait, I thought that was your second favorite.
my favorite is Return of the Jedi.
Breath of Destiny.
Stop it, bro.
Okay.
Sorry, that was my easy uptake, brother.
Sith brother.
Wow, this is going really well.
But my brother is bothering me, obviously. Acting like a little scumbag, like he already is. So, my favorite Return of the Jedi because it's less dull, it's the most, it has meaning to it. And when I said, the usual clandestine is actually good. It gives you a sense of something to look forward to. Like you have to dig in to know the meaning of it. You don't just see it. Like, oh, they're just fighting. It makes it secretive. It makes it secretive, and the meaning is secretive, and you have to really dig in to see the full picture instead of just seeing them fight. It's like having a cupcake without frosting. That's like how Anakin versus Obi-Wan is. It's like you taking out the frosting out of the cupcake. I mean, the cupcake in itself is good, but
You're taking mine. You're taking mine. Yours and mine are.
Exactly.
What?
I'm countering you. You eat the cupcake's good, but it's not as good as with the frosting with Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi has frosting. Anakin versus Obi-Wan has poop bread. So that's why Return of the Jedi wins. And the victor is Return of the Jedi. For me.
Okay, the Force Wave, you said Revenge of the Sith, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Same here. That means Revenge of the Sith wins, I guess.
So subscribe to my channel. It's called.
Yeah, subscribe to their channels
Don't
and.
subscribe to Force Wave, but subscribe to me. It's my channel.
Okay, everybody who subscribed to Everything Star Wars, unsubscribe.
Hey,
Nah.
guys. Everything Stars channel is terrible. He has no content. He barely uploads. Just subscribe to me. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Chill out, Force Wave. Sorry, Force Wave gets a little crabby like that.
He's a sourpuss. Hey guys, don't worry. He's a sourpuss. Don't worry about him.
So yeah, subscribe to my channel, Force Wave maybe.
And subscribe to mine.
And like and so
like the video.
And like my videos when
like,
I have one.
Like like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to all of our channels. And maybe the Force be with you.
We'll do more of these collabs better.
Yeah. Force Wave.
Star Wars?
Force Wave has one of these collabs on his channel, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
I do.
Alright,
You better have uploaded it by now.
Outro.
Okay, but yeah, may the Force be with you all, and bye, I guess. Hey guys, it's me, Darth Something, and I'm doing a collab with Force Wave and Everything Star Wars. Check out their channels. We're talking about lightsaber duels. I'm gonna redo the intro later, remember that. Okay, so basically we take 2 lightsaber duels and yeah, we decide which one's best, and Then they move on to the next round. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo that later, but whatever. Okay, let's start off with Obi-Wan versus Vader in A New Hope versus the fight from the Phantom Menace on Tatooine with Qui-Gon and Maul. Everything Star Wars?
So this is, I believe, a quite actually very interesting scenario, but it's a very clear. Well, there's a clear winner, very clear. Obi-Wan Kenobi, because not Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan Kenobi will obviously lose because Darth Vader has murdered a lot of people. Jedi Masters, Jedi Knights, Jedi Padawans. He killed a lot of people in the Jedi Temple. And he has a lot of experience killing Jedi, especially Jedi Masters. So, he was...
Everything starts doesn't get where we're going. Oh my. That's something. You didn't explain it good enough.
Yeah.
It's not who fights each other, not like, oh, Obi-Wan